Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, this is Fiona Di Pinto and this is Drawings in a Drawer, and here we discuss everything watercolor and more. If you've been following me for a short while even, you will know that I've been experimenting with expressive watercolor painting, and you can see an example of that here. You will be seeing the process for this painting in this video. And I have been having a ton of fun in this Etcher sketchbook. I've actually switched to cold pressed, which is textured paper, and I love it because it's very smooth, so it doesn't get in my way at all. Since starting this experiment and this exploration into expressive watercolor painting, I have been painting more flowers. People who usually paint with watercolor automatically tend to turn to flowers, but that has not been the case for me. I've always loved portraits, and that is what I did. But I have been painting more flowers than usual recently, and I have understood the importance of painting flowers because it really helps you to understand the way the watercolor works, the paint works and interacts with the water, the level of humidity and the texture of the paper can all work for you. And you can really see that very well when painting florals. It's also kind of like a mindless exercise because you don't have to think about features like the nose or the lips in a face. So you can lose yourself into it much more, and it almost becomes like a meditation. One piece of advice I usually gave when starting or tackling a sketchbook was not to start on the first page, but start randomly in the middle and then just jump around your sketchbook, just so you didn't have that pressure of the first page. But when it comes to this sketchbook, I have decided to go in chronological order because that will help me see the progress I have made. That will help me spot things that have changed in the course of time and to see when that happened. So I hope you've been following these episodes of my adventure into trying to evolve my style and to become looser. And I hope that you're showing up with your sketchbook, that you have a sketch ready and that you're going to sit and paint with me. Maybe it could become your Sunday habit, your new Sunday morning art habit, if it's Sunday morning where you are, or if it's evening. And you don't really need a sketch either. If you're painting a floral, you can just paint along with me impulsively. Let's talk about something important that I have learned, that I've understood since I've started this sketchbook practice, so to speak. I find that I am again as inspired and as excited about my art as I was when I first started out with watercolor. And I think that's something people don't say enough because it seems so simple and easy that you'd think it would be the first thing that people would think about, is to consume a lot of art content. I find that watching lots of art videos really inspires me, sketchbook tours and videos of people painting with watercolor. That has also made me realize how many undiscovered amazing artists there are out there on this platform on YouTube, because you always seem to get the same channels pushed at you when you search for something. But I went beyond that and scrolled and found some really interesting channels and lots of really talented people, and watching them paint really inspired me massively. And it's so sad to see also how many of these art YouTube channels end up giving up because probably there's too much work and not enough of a result, or just basically nobody's watching their videos because YouTube is not pushing them out there, which sadly is something that does tend to happen a lot. It is my personal experience that the more art content you consume, whether that is watching videos on YouTube or going to visit museums or looking at art books, then the more you want to paint. And the more you want to paint, the more you paint. And as simple and as obvious as that may seem, painting a lot is necessary to evolve. And that is one of the biggest things that I have taken away from this practice up till now. And the painting of this poor rabbin was turning out well, or it was going quite nicely, until it kind of got a bit, I don't know, just too much for me. I think the black in the background changed the whole mood of the painting, and I actually ended up painting over it with white acrylic. You'll see that later. Once I had decided that I was going to work in the sketchbook chronologically, and since I had already actually started working in it in non-chronological order, I was a little bit all over the place trying to go back and fill in the empty spaces that I'd left behind. So here I'm penciling in a bird, and then I go on to paint something else, and then I come back to this bird. But anyway, I'm trying to get myself into chronological order in the sketchbook. And here I was tackling a painting with three colours: cerulean blue, Naples yellow, and cadmium red light. I've said this before, I just find that limiting the palette you use as much as possible really is something that allows you to observe certain things that you usually would not notice, that eliminates a lot of noise and simplifies things a lot in general. This painting ended up being a little bit of a disaster. In a way, it almost ends up looking clownesque at the end, and it's a little bit overwhelming. I did not paint over this at all. I like it. I am fond of this piece. You'll see how it turns out in the beginning. It's just a little bit crowded and unexpected. I got a little bit carried away, let's say. So big announcement time. Now, at the end of May, I am going to be hosting a free workshop in which I'm going to teach you how to paint Expressive. I'm not sure what yet. I am planning on maybe 3 small projects, and I think this is possibly going to be on YouTube. So it's going to be live and it's going to be free. And if you're interested in joining the workshop, then please write to the email drawingsinadrawer@gmail.com, and I will also leave my email address down below, and let me know that you're interested in joining this free workshop. And once I've set up the link and everything, I will send the information to you. So just make sure you remember to send me this email and sign up, because it's going to be a limited number of people that are going to be able to participate in this free workshop. In the meanwhile, while you wait for the workshop to happen, if you want to get my full-length narrator tutorials, just check out my Patreon, and you can access so many of these narrator tutorials for just $5 or €5 a month. And the link to my Patreon will be down below. Something I hadn't been expecting is that I would create so many paintings within a week. I was painting in preparation for this video, so I wanted to have enough material to be able to show you what I had done to loosen up my style this week. And as I started editing everything, I realized that I'd actually done so much more than I expected, and I wasn't even able to put all the paintings that I did into this video, which means that I already have material for next week's video, or at least some material for next week's video. My approach to sketchbooks has changed completely. I have been able finally to treat them as a place where I can experiment, where I can make mistakes, where I can try and do something that will probably not look that great. For example, painting over this random abstract looking background in mixed media and see what will happen. Maybe I would not have felt it like using an expensive thick sheet of watercolor paper, but if you already have your sketchbook, then it's easier for you to grab it and just go for it. And once you start, you're on a roll. So it's definitely all about getting started, about just having that, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, where you practice, where you exercise, and then gradually you will find that it's your hand that leads you, that it's a muscle memory, and that you're judging yourself less, which, as you know, I think is extremely important. So I would love to see what you do in your sketchbook, if you do anything, or I would love to read your comments. So if you have anything to say to me, if you have any questions or requests, please leave them down below and I will be reading them. But above all, be here with me on this journey every Sunday and paint along. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next Sunday.